In today's video, I want to rant a bit about some of my favorite perfumes and what I would recommend to others. I love collecting small bottles, and a way that I can have cute small bottles and nice perfume is to buy from indie perfume houses. Indie perfume to me just means that the makers don't sell in places like Dillard's, JCPenney's, or Sephora. However, unlike the indie makeup world, indie perfume doesn't have that many set standards. I think as long as it's not a big corporation or chain that makes the perfume, then it constitutes as indie perfume. Frequently, this perfume is pure oil, while popular perfume brands use alcohol to dilute and help the perfume oil disperse. This isn't always the case, as some indie perfume oils, like one I'm going to mention, have alcohol-based sprays. The alcohol content also does not mean that a perfume is worse or better quality. Sometimes it can affect the perfume in a negative way. It's really dependent on the blend of oils that go into the alcohol that can make or break a perfume's quality. The alcohol content is what makes one perfume an eau de parfum, while another one is eau de toilette. Eau de cologne, for example, has the highest amount of alcohol, but that does not mean, once again, that eau de cologne is the worst quality. It just means that some scents are better for light spritzes while others are better concentrated. And sometimes you don't want a completely concentrated perfume. Sometimes it's better to have something that's diluted so that it doesn't stain fancy clothes, or it doesn't make you smell up a whole room in an event where you don't want to stand out like that. You may hear me say a scent is feminine versus masculine. This does not mean that only men or women can wear a certain smell. It just means it is just a way to describe scent families. Masculine notes include things like pine, leather, vetiver, mahogany, and so on. Feminine scents include jasmine, peaches, lily of the valley, and many more. Another term I may use as well is an absolute, which is similar to an essential oil, but the concentrated oils are extracted a bit differently than how an essential oil is extracted. What I love about indie perfume houses is that masculine and feminine scents or notes do not mean much, and perfume blends tend to be more unique and use notes that are not commonly used in more chain perfume departments and whatnot. Here are a few scents that I think represent this variety pretty well. The first scent is 1692's Black Sugar. The notes include spun brown sugar, red berries, vanilla, tonka bean, dirt, smoke, and cocoa absolute. This oil smells sweet, but the dirt is very, very noticeable. It's not just some catchy thing. You will smell like dirt. It's very realistic. And the smoke is barely noticeable. It's not like a cigarette smoke where it smells like you've been outside smoking a pack all day. It does help the perfume as a whole stay pretty grounded though. I don't get much of the cocoa like how other people get it, but I've heard it described as like a chocolate truffle, and I really don't notice any chocolate notes. I think it gives it a little bit more of a bitter note to it to kind of help against the sweetness of it. But it still is very, very sweet. It's not foody though. It's not like a pumpkin pie or something where you know this is supposed to smell like food. It's not like that. Overall, I would describe it as feminine. And if you like vanilla and dirt, then this is the perfume for you. The next scent I would recommend for beginners is Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab's Dorian, which is a very, very popular scent. If you go onto their website, they have beloved favorites and whatnot, and I think this is one of them that's in there. It has notes of vanilla, tea, musk, and I can't say this properly, but fougere, I think? Fougere is a hard note to describe, but often it's a very green smell. Apparently, the original person who made this note thought that ferns should smell this way, but ferns don't really have a discernible smell, so he had to create the smell out of thin air, and that's pretty cool. But when you see the note fougere, just know that depending on the house, it's going to smell completely different from one perfume house to the other. This perfume, however, to me at least, just smells like vanilla iced tea with a fresh wedge of lemon, just right on the side of the glass. It's sophisticated in a weird way though, where it doesn't just smell like, you know, iced tea and that's it. There's something a little bit more there that kind of adds more to it and makes it more mature than just, here's some Texas iced tea. Like, it's a little bit more complex than that, but that's the most accurate description I can get at this moment. And depending on your skin chemistry and how you wear scents, everything that I'm saying is purely subjective. Depending on all of this kind of stuff, your diet, how much you sweat, etc., the notes can change drastically. Base notes can be amped up, or they can disappear within a few seconds. It really just depends on your skin type. A good way to just get a general scent without having your skin chemistry affecting the scent is to use a scent locket, and they'll sell like felt pads or like felt balls that you can put the perfume oil on, and that will give you typically the most accurate scent from the website description. Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab specializes in more masculine scents. I've noticed they really like patchouli over there. If you like patchouli, go over to BPAL. It's crazy how many scents have patchouli as a base note. And they don't really touch a lot of foodie or sweet, really feminine scents. It's just not something that they're into, and you'll notice that with each perfume house is that they specialize in different things. So I'm going to describe Cocoa Pink later, and Cocoa Pink has a lot of foodie scents that smell like ice cream and waffles and popcorn and those kinds of things. Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab specializes in more masculine scents, and they tend to not touch foodie or gourmet scents. A great example of a masculine scent is Rogue, which is from their RPG series. Rogue consists of leather, hemp, and rosin, and you will definitely smell the rosin. It gets very sweet, and the leather also comes off as a bit sweet, but this is still a very masculine scent and would be great if you're into that kind of thing while it's still not being too like dank and dark to work on anyone. It's honestly a very gender neutral scent, I would say, and a great starter if you're looking into trying out BPAL's more masculine notes. One of my favorite scents of all times is Cocoa Pink's Angelica. Angelica is usually only available during winter or fall, which is a shame because I think it deserves to be a general catalog scent. Her notes are gunpowder, cement, motor oil, and vanilla musk. The vanilla musk grounds this perfume incredibly well. But if you want to smell like a badass, then this scent is for you. You can smell the motor oil, and you can smell the gunpowder as well. The gunpowder gives it a little bit of a smoky note to it, but it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke, which is one of my least favorite things that happens with a smoke note, which can happen, is that it can smell like barbecue, it can smell like cigarettes. This perfume doesn't do that. You can totally picture her with a black leather jacket, some ripped jeans, and a gun in her back pocket. It is so atmospheric, while still being like very feminine and just badass. It's so cool. It's a great scent, and I wish more people hype this scent up because it is amazing. Another scent I like from them is Black Forest, but I'm not going to talk about that one there. It's supposed to be a like piney, foresty smell, but honestly it just smells really sweet and kind of clean. It's good. But Angelica is definitely one of my favorites. So for right now, that's all I can really talk about. If you are looking into indie perfumes, don't start off with just going to every single perfume house and buying all of their sample sizes, because honestly it gets very expensive. What I would recommend doing is going onto the subreddit Indie Exchange or finding Facebook groups for different perfume houses who sell things. One for Black Phoenix Alchemy Labs is BPAL Sales Madness, and people will be selling lots of imps or general collection scents that you can choose from. But this is a great way to kind of get a sample set, and then once you want the full bottle, go and get the full bottle in the main site to go and support the brand. I wouldn't absolutely depend on the other sources and whatnot, especially because a lot of these guys have limited edition scents, so once it's gone, it's gone. And sometimes the only way you can get these limited edition scents is through the Indie Exchange or through BPAL Sales Madness, etc. So they have things like decanting circles, which they'll take the limited edition scents and you can buy like a $4 to $6 imp is what they call the sample sizes in BPAL. But the decanting circles can help you test out a limited edition product before having to go and buy the full size, because it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it can get very, very expensive, but comparatively to brands that you're gonna see in Sephora, JCPenney's, or whatever, it's still a very reasonable price, because those ones are diluted. These ones usually are pure oil perfumes. So you get a lot of mileage with just a small bottle. And they're very travel friendly and whatnot when it comes to size. So I highly recommend checking out the Facebook groups, the Reddit, the subreddit, and just browsing the sites and writing down. Make yourself a spreadsheet on what things you want to try and then just go from there. Because each perfume house tends to use different perfume oils, so amber from one perfume place isn't going to smell like the same amber in another. Same with things like musks and whatnot and patchouli. There's a lot of variety, so the best way to test out which notes you like and don't like is to just keep on sampling until you find something you like. Write down those notes that you like, or just write down the perfume you like and go from there. Anyway, that's the end of the video for me. Thanks for listening and for watching.